All right, everyone. AMG Hobby Talk number 21. We are back, and it is Series 2 week, like Shark Week, but basically Connor Bedard. And we're going to talk about that one here related to it. We will have a couple of updates here. So I'm going to start off with one of those updates, and one of them is regarding the trade night. So we talk about how the trade night and those ones are usually configured. It's generally speaking, we got the last Friday of the month. Now, this trade night, we are going to revise it for the month of March. It's going to be March 22nd as opposed to the 29th to account for Good Friday. So adjustment based on the holiday and everything, because Bedford Place Mall will be closed. So you want to make sure you adjust it. So bump it up a week because of the holiday. And then otherwise, the rest of it should more or less fall on the schedule. Again, bear in mind, and we'll remind you as we get into the April and the subsequent ones. But for the month of March, it's moved up to March 22nd. Just bear that in mind. Second thing we want to talk about is the card preparation service. Sherry, do you want to give a quick rundown on what's coming up with that one?
Yeah, so we officially launched the prep and review services a week or so ago now, I guess. That's up and running, so get your cards in. You can get the form online at amgcollectibles.ca, or you can stop in store and get a paper form as well.
Perfect. Now I'm going to go through a couple of these segments quickly because we want to give ourselves some time to show off some cards and also talk about Series 2, because obviously a lot of people are very interested in Series 2. Already some of the social media posts are anticipating that, so we'll give you a couple of details so that you can have the best possible experience and do your Bedard chasing. But quickly off the top, I'll read a comment from last week. So Blaine Hamilton here said, another great episode, always interesting and entertaining. Thank you, Blaine. And can't wait until my schedule lines up with the card show and trade night. All good. P.S. Anyone at AMG up to do a box break for UD Series 2? Blair's probably your guy. Go run after Blair. Chase after him, and then you can do a box break. Do a box battle with him. It'll be very exciting. But glad to enjoy your enthusiasm and appreciate the comment. And as always, if you include some comments on them, within reason, we'll usually try to include them in the episodes if we can. But thank you to Blaine including that. And also, we appreciate the engagement. Thumbs up. And the subscriptions are slowly bumping up, so I want to keep that going. So let's keep going towards it. Now, a couple of products are coming in the store, so I'll touch on them really quickly. First one is 2023 Topps MLS Finest Soccer. So if you enjoy Major League Soccer, that is a product that's coming in. Should we expect much supply there, Steve, or is it first come, first serve, run on in and get it?
Yeah, just a small supply of that, so it'll be a first come, first serve. Don't anticipate it lasting very long.
Okay, perfect. So just bear that in mind. If you have any questions about that, you can always reach out to the contacts we always mention. It is always best to reach out directly to the store if you want to know specifics. I'll include the little scrolling ticker there at the bottom. You got the Instagram and you got the website. Use the direct connections if you need a quicker response. If you just have a kind of a general open-ended question, then by all means put it in the comments section of the YouTube video. That's perfectly fine. But if you need a quicker response, use one of the direct contacts. It's a better way of getting your response. The rest of these here on my list are varying degrees of Series 2. We got Series 2, the Series 2 album, blasters and tins, the usual complement that you should expect. So, and we're going to talk about Series 2 a fair bit here at the end. But those are the products and things coming in. Now, as I said, I'm going to go into showing you some cards that came in. We're going to go through these a little bit quicker than normal because I want to give us some time to be able to talk through some of the Series 2. And we've got a bounty already for the Bedard, so a couple of exciting things we'll be talking about. So let me start off here sharing a couple of cards. And if anyone wants to chime in and add anything to it, by all means, feel free to interrupt me and let me know. First one, 2022 Select UFC. We got a Tom Aspinall Blue Disco Prism in a PSA 10. So love the Select. Good looking cards. Want to add anything there?
I believe it's a Pop 49, and I just put it in there. I believe he's fighting for the heavyweight title soon, so a good opportunity to get his rookie card in case he wins. And that card should blow up a little bit.
Very nice. And we got here for recent Peachy Platinum, we got Jonathan Berggren. I struggle with some of these names. Some of these names are tough. And this one is a short print. So we got the nice background there with the forest. Which one is this one, Blair?
I think they call it pond hockey. So that was one I was going through one of Steve's stacks and saw it and just piqued my interest. So I did the old searcheroo. And yeah, it's a super short print, I think. Selling pretty well, of course, the rookie ones. And then there's a few of, they did them for... star players as well too. But yeah, I kind of liked it. Reminded me of my childhood playing pond hockey, so wanted to get that in there. A little bonus player.
There you go. Very nice. And I apologize to the family for the horrific butchering of that last name. But when you spell the first name Jonathan, look, you get what you're asking for. You're doing some. Yeah, it's Jonathan. So like, you're doing some bad things to begin with. Look, you deserve this to a certain degree. I apologize, but at the same time, like, give me a break, especially when the coffee hasn't fully kicked in. All right, 2018 Upper Deck Brady to Chuck in a PSA 10. So we got one of the Young Guns. You know, we'll revisit this theme here with the Series 2 talk. Then we got a wrestling card here, so it is a nice mix and match. This is the 85. So is this the O-Peachy or the tops on this one?
Believe this is the tops one.
Okay.
And as you would know, Carlos, I had to throw this in there for you, that being a wrestling guy, but it's Hulk Hogan's rookie card, and it's a tougher issue to find. So we bought a lot on the weekend, and there was 75 or so 1985 WWF cards. So I think Roddy Piper's rookie card, Paul Orndorff, a trip down memory lane for me.
Yep, me too.
Very nice. Very nice. Now, one thing I'll add is I would caution the rookie card thing in wrestling is very nebulous. It's very tricky at the best of times. I would just note this one is probably one of the most popular early Hogan cards, but there is the 82 Wrestling All-Stars. There is like a Japanese one. So like it's really weird and murky. But if you're talking WBF/WBE, like early that this is the Hulk Hogan that became known with Hulkamania and everything in the WBF/WBE. So, and this is him early on because you can tell he's got the little headband going with Hulkster. Yeah. And this is one of the earlier championship belts because they changed the design a couple of times in the early days during his first title reign. But it is a snapshot in time. This is right here, early time, right around WrestleMania 1. And this is where a lot of that took off and became the thing that it was. Yeah. So definitely a classic, an OG for sure. So 2005 Upper Deck MVP. So Crosby's rookie year here. This is the rookie breakthrough from MVP, also in a PSA 10. So good stuff there. Got the Beehive here for Sidney Crosby, which is one of the more unique ones. So if you go back to 2005, the Beehive, especially kind of the portrait headshots, and you got it in a very crisp red, which definitely is prone to chipping. So getting it in a PSA 10 is a pretty solid grade on this one.
It's a great smile on Sid in this picture.
Yes, and he looks like he's about 12. But he was basically 18 when this one came in. This is rookie season, very early on. And then we got the Ovechkin, the complimentary Ovechkin here from also the same Beehive. This is the beige version, so one of the variants. He does have a similar type card to the other one, but again, this one's a beige for Ovechkin in a PSA 10.
This one's quite difficult too. I believe, I can't remember, it's either a Pop 12 or Pop 18. So it's like astronomically more difficult than the other Beehive variations. And there's been some pretty big selling prices of this card in a PSA 10.
Good stuff. Then we got a Brad Marchand here, the inked insignias, which can be a little hit or miss. I don't mind it because it is like, nobody's trying to misrepresent anything here. It's an insignia. It's just like this manufactured thing you put on there. It's an on-card auto. This one's numbered to 25. You got the little Boston Bruins logo there kind of put into there. It's aesthetically an interesting looking card. At least it's got a couple of layers to it. But you got to remember, it's still an on-card auto. I always find there's a little bit of a premium for these. I question it a little bit as a collector, but obviously people like it. And they like it enough to be willing to pay for it. And you got Bergeron here in a nice looking card.
Yeah, I like it.
Here from Stature, we got a rookie 1 of 1. So Pavel Regenda, and beautiful patch on there, and then on card auto, which is great. And then obviously in the 1 of 1. Do enjoy the Stature. A lot of the parallels and everything look really good. And obviously when you combine a nice patch piece, like that's a really good patch piece for Anaheim, and then combine that with the on card auto as a 1 of 1, that's a good looking card.
Yeah, that was pulled in the store, so I was able to immediately buy it back from the customer. So I think that's the first 1 of 1 I've actually seen pulled in the store. So that was, and like I said, really nice patch.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And then here we got a couple of basketball cards for a moment. 2020 Donruss Optic, Emmanuel Quickly, Fast Break Blue. There's a lot of parallels to the optics, so it's good. It's good to have it designated on there. It saves us from trying to figure it out. So that is nice. We got a Kobe here, 96 SP Kobe Bryant in a PSA 10 again with the straight colors on the side instead of borders. Very easy to chip. So good to have it in a PSA 10. Pretty solid. And we'll finish off with a Connor Bedard card here. So this is from OPG Platinum. We got the marquee rookie in the Team Canada uniform. Connor Bedard to finish it off for this showcase.
He's supposed to be fairly
I like
good
that.
from what I'm hearing.
This is what we hear. This is what we hear. Well, I believe I could be mistaken. Even with the injury and everything, I think he's still leading Chicago in points, but they're kind of terrible. But he should be rookie of the year, should be pretty much in the bag for him because he is leading all rookies in that category, and he's still leading his team in points. Again, they're not very good. They're going to have to improve the cast around him, but he's playing about as well as you could ask for, given kind of what they have going on over there, where he's really the only offensive focus they have. They don't really have much going on in Chicago this year. They'll have to retool and rebuild, but if they do, I could see the talent. He's shown talent. The talent's there, so now it's just a matter of, can you take it up a notch with a little bit more help? That's what I think they're looking for now. So let's talk about Series 2. This is kind of a fun thing. I'm not really going to do a full-fledged breakdown for you. I'm going to be 100% blunt and honest with everybody. If you remember our breakdown of Series 1, or are familiar with Series 1, a lot of it is the same. They did introduce a couple of other inserts on it, but ratios and things are very similar. It's very comparable. UD Portraits is back. Very similar, very comparable. The parallels are the same. What you're really looking for is the various parallels and outbursts. The big draw, it's not the elephant in the room. It's very obvious. The big draw is Connor Bedard. It is the chase of Connor Bedard. That's what people are looking for, and that's reflected in the pricing you're going to see. That's reflected in the demand you're going to see. It's all that. It's Bedard Mania is pretty much going to drive this product. So before we get into a couple of things, I'll talk about the bounty here in a second. Outside of that, is there any initial thoughts or anything anybody wants to bring up about Series 2? Sherry, do you want to discuss what the terms and conditions are for Series 2?
Yeah, we had a lot of people calling the store yesterday, sending us messages saying that they'll be in right at 10 a.m. today. Just to note, it does not come out today. It comes out tomorrow, Wednesday, March 6th. We don't get our shipment until tomorrow either, so it'll probably be early afternoon by the time the product does arrive. So if you arrive at 10 a.m. tomorrow, we will not have anything for you. So just please be patient, and as soon as we get that product in, it'll be on the floor. And just for the hobby boxes, the tins and the blasters, we are putting a limit on them. So the hobby boxes will be 1 per customer. The blasters will be 10 per customer, and the tins will be 5 per customer.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now, I want to make sure that I note it. All you have to do is do a little bit of math, but not everybody always takes the time to do that. So I will remind you. If memory serves me, I believe that each box, as currently configured, will have 6 Young Guns. So if you are chasing the Bedard, there are 50 in the checklist. There are 6 Young Guns in the box. That means you will not get 1 per box. On average, you will not get 1 per 2 boxes. You can quickly do the math and realize that over the course of a 12-box case, you're going to average, give or take, about 1.5 Bedards. So 2 cases is about 3 Bedard. So just don't go in banking on that. This is like just trying to give fair warning to everybody. Put your expectations at the right level. But hey, you want to chase, you give it a shot by all means. But just don't be shocked, because it's not going to come out of every box. It is a 50 card checklist. So if you're trying to build a set, well, then obviously you're probably going to open enough boxes where you give it a shot. But I just get worried, Sherry. A product, when it's hyped up like this, I get worried that people are like, hey, I didn't pull a Bedard. It's like, how many boxes did you open? 2 boxes. Well, mathematically, you weren't quite there to get necessarily. That's probably, on average, that's probably about right.
All you need is 1 pack. So good luck.
Live the dream. Live the dream.
We definitely recommend the blasters and the tins. Obviously, they're a lot cheaper, and like Sherry said, you just need to pull that 1 card. So, the hobby boxes are a little pricey, but definitely the blasters and tins, will be available as well.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, as I mentioned, the Bedard Chase is the big draw. And in addition to the base card, there are various parallels included in it. Again, same ones as Series 1. The parallel sequence is the same. There's definitely going to be serious demand for various levels of them. But the big one that we talked about is the 1 of 1. The infamous 1 of 1 Young Gun. Not the first 1 of 1 ever. I already talked about this in the scholarship segment in previous episode. However, it is a big one, and it is the big golden chase. And David Adams, Card World, has a bounty on this one, and I'm going to share the social media post with you. So here it is. It's the $1 million bounty. So, if you can get the Connor Bedard Outburst Gold 1 of 1 Young Gun, there is a $1 million bounty included in it. Now, I would bear in mind, if you are interested in living the dream, there are some terms and conditions in it. I believe there's a condition requirement. I forget. There's a couple of conditions they actually included, and it's not in the social media post here. But I believe if you go check out the actual David Adams website, or they're posting wherever they put it, they did put a couple of conditions in it. But regardless, $1 million bounty. They've done stuff like this before. They've done these bounties, and they have paid out on these. So it's the golden ticket. It's the Willy Wonka golden ticket. If you get it and the conditions are met, no advice on my end, but I would take the $1 million. If you have the card, and I just secondary market, I don't know if you would get up to this. Like, Blair might give you 1.1, but I don't know if anybody else is in the marketplace willing to even go to this level. So this is I would pretty much take the deal. Deal or no deal, I would take the deal if it was me. Just throwing that out there.
I'm capping my payout at about $500,000.
There you go.
That's about all I can muster.
So first, what I want to do is I want to talk about, like I said, we can talk about anything else related to Series 2, but obviously this is the big draw. This is the big discussion point. So I want to get kind of a little bit of round table. What are your thoughts on, from a marketing perspective, it's brilliant, because we got to remember, David Adams also sells boxes and cases. So, they're smart. They understand what's going on. And also sometimes these bounties, there's two versions. There's the David Adams themselves providing the bounty, and sometimes they're kind of an avenue for a collector to be able to do that kind of anonymously and provide a bounty through them. They've kind of done a little bit of both. Regardless, though, it's a great marketing tactic. Like, it's a sensational tactic. And obviously it pops off the page, $1 million. You're talking hockey cards, $1 million. You're usually talking about a PSA 10 Gretzky. That's pretty much the only ones that hit that level. So I want to do a little around the horn here. Thoughts on $1 million bounty on a single card like that?
For the first time, I think it's great for hockey, because whenever we see large bounties, it's for baseball or basketball. So to have it for hockey, I think it's a great thing. But yeah, like you said, great marketing tool for David Adams. But that's what they do. There's a reason they're successful. So wish them all the best.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's not any company that could do that either. So they're pretty big company. So no, I like it. And you know what? My hope is it's not some other card company, or I'm hoping it's Joe Open a Pack collector guy that pulls it, and it's a life-changing kind of event. That's what I'd like to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And they're a reputable company, so like
absolutely.
If those conditions are met, there's not much of a worry on that end once that deal is made. So
absolutely. And they have in the past, if you ever get a chance, if I can find one of the examples, I'll share it and I'll include it in the description for you. As I said, they've done bounties like this in the past. They did $200,000 for a Babe Ruth Superfractor from Bowman Chrome, I think 2022, 2023, one of those. And the person came in to the store, showed it to them. They made a little video with it, and the person agreed to the terms, and boom, $200,000. They even had the nice novelty check for them and everything. So they have met these bounties before for big money, and they've done it. Now, it was funny, and I was actually commenting with a couple of my buddies the other day when we were talking about this, and then that led into that discussion of that video. It has less than 5,000 views. So I think a lot of excitement about the bounty itself, but then when it came to the moment, like, here's the video, this is the person actually showing the card and actually collecting the bounty, and not a lot of people caught that after the fact. It came off the page. Now, let me ask all of you a question here. So this is what's going to be kind of fun. If we put our tinfoil hats on for a second, if you're kind of Upper Deck or David Adams or whoever, does it behoove you, or does it interest you? Because there's going to be a lot of breaking of this product early on, and there's going to be a lot of boxes. Now, I am pretty confident that Upper Deck would have made sure that this card would be in the normal boxes, not an e-pack, in the normal boxes. It would behoove them to make sure it's available in this format. However, what is better? So this is kind of a debate question. I'm curious. What do you think would be better? If it was pulled fairly early on and got the drumbeat of excitement as the product came out, or if product was getting open and it kind of sat back because we got the expo coming up in April. Like, if I was going to put a tinfoil hat on, if I could pick, I would want it pulled right around the expo, or heaven forbid at the expo. Somebody opened up a box there and that's where it suddenly popped out. It would get a lot of attention. It'd be a big attention grabber at that venue with those eyeballs.
Definitely wouldn't want to pick the first day, which
Yeah.
that happens quite often. So, yeah, if we can last a couple weeks before it's pulled, that'd be fantastic.
I agree.
I agree.
I think it would extend the relevancy of the series a little bit because again, same vein. If we're being honest, if it was pulled very early on, that would hurt a little bit. It would kind of hurt the draw because that was the big one. There's still other parallels. There's still other parallels that I think will do extremely well. So let me ask this. Early prediction. Early Young Guns that are going to come out. So before we're not going to worry about grading yet, because obviously even if you want to grade it, there's a little bit of a turnaround time involved in that. What do we think the first Connor Bedard Young Guns that hit eBay really fast for the eager folks that have to hit that buy it now? What do we think we get on the first couple?
It's a tough
one. Yeah,
I used to think 1,000. Now,
Yeah.
That's what,
now
I'm at 1,400.
yeah,
well,
All right.
it might go even higher than that. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we said it before. Nothing surprises us.
no. And I think if I remember, like one of the first Easter egg draft day cards, didn't that go for like either 1,500 or two grand or something like that? There was a report, and
There is,
so
but it went down pretty quick.
yeah, it did. Yeah, but I mean, there's gonna be guys who will probably jump on this.
Oh yeah, there's going to be outliers for sure.
Yeah.
But that's my average number.
Well, even as
No, I think
Outburst
you're right.
Young Gun will be interesting when someone pulls an Outburst Young Gun.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
might bring a pretty penny.
Well, that's going to be so. That's the reason why I wanted to ask the question is that my expectation is that you always have really aggressive pricing early on.
Mhm.
And you always have to. That's why I say like this is the caveat section of it. I started off with the caveat of you're not going to get one per box. Just a little quick math. It's like there's going to be one per case. And some cases we'll have two, and that should not be unusual. That's perfectly fine. But again, we're talking at the case level. We're not talking at the box level. So you've got a little bit of work to do in order to get it. But they're going to be printed very well, I think. And this kind of plays into this question. So I'm going to give you a little bit of context just for comparison's sake. So if we talk the Connor McDavid, so we'll use the other Connor. Now this is back in 2015, so a very different time period, also in terms of volume and production. So the Connor McDavid today sits at 2,800 PSA 10s. So 2,800 just in PSA 10 alone. And then if we tack on, BGS 9.5, that's another 7,700. So that's over 10,000 between BGS 9.5 and PSA 10. And then we can also tack on PSA 9. There's another 2,200, give or take. So 12,000 Connor McDavid's just in those two companies and 3 grading levels. The Connor Bedard is not going to be short printed. The Young Gun tends to be pretty well printed. So to the point, the initial ones are going to come out pretty hot. It's going to be like what happened with O-Pee-Chee. The first couple that hit the market, the people catch on the first couple, even the base version sold very well. We got to make it higher because obviously Upper Deck is a more popular product. The Young Gun is a big one. But then what happens once the market gets saturated a little bit and we start pulling enough of them to kind of feed some of that demand, then the price will come back down a little bit more. But what I'd be curious about, and this is what I'm wondering, how much more or less did they print than even last year's? I'd be curious with the Bedard thing because they knew what was coming. They knew they were going to put him in Series 2. So how much did they turn the printing press on?
I will say with regards to Series 1, as cards come back from PSA, a lot of the rookie cards or cards that are being graded, it's tough to get a 10 on this year's. I don't know if it's just like the draft day Bedard card's a good example. Tends to be a little bit of chipping along the borders. And we're seeing, cards like Luke Hughes or Matthew Nyes, who, a lot of the rookie cards were sent in. And when they're coming back, we're seeing, 7s, 8s, 9s. So Bedard might be a tough 10 for all we know. I guess we'll have to wait and see what the print quality is when it arrives tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. I think that's going to help. If that's the case, it'll help hold the price on the 10s and such. I think that'll help to a certain degree because that's always a factor. Obviously, if it's a little condition sensitive, that will assist. But so let me pose the question, as I said a moment ago. So do you think they printed in comparison? Let's just use Series 1 and Series 2. That way we're keeping it as close to apples as possible. Do you think they printed more of Series 2 versus Series 1, like physically printed more? this is just me asking a question because I'd be curious if you're Upper Deck, this is kind of a cash cow on this one. Do you print more? Do you print the same? Do you print less and try to make demand a little crazier for it? Like theories. I just want theories and thoughts.
I'm afraid to answer that question.
Yeah, I don't really know anything about the print. I don't know because it's a like they're not numbered. Well, there are some.
Blair, if you want to play it safe, you could just say the same. Like you can use that. That could be your answer if you want. If that's what you want to go with.
I don't. That's a very good question. I understand where you're coming from with just the hype. You could potentially print more and sell more, but
I don't think we'll know that answer right away. The last year and a half, we've worked very hard to get our allotment up. So I don't know if other hobby shops were able to do the same because there was lots of bumps in the road the last year and a half. So if we're all of a sudden able to acquire more, we could look at that then. But right now, I would just say, I'm not sure. I mean, common sense would say, yeah, they probably did, but I don't know. They still have to have people, again, the allotment thing, they have to be allotted the amount. They had to earn it like we did. So it's yet to be determined.
Yeah.
And I would think it would hurt the overall. I mean, that's just my feeling. If that did happen and it got out that they printed way more of Series 2, I think that would hurt the product.
I think that's fair, but look, I'll put it this way. So I will speak only for Carlos. So the opinions expressed of these are not of AMG Collectibles; they're strictly of Carlos. But I'm just going to say, if you bumped it up by 15 or 20%, it would be imperceptible enough that the average person wouldn't be able to tell. So I'm not saying quintuple the print run, but I'm saying you could bump up the print run a little bit and take advantage of that opportunity. Again, my personal theory, you could bump it up a little bit, and it would still be relatively imperceptible. Because Steve, if you make it like 10 or 15%, that's too hard to tell. Like you're not going to be able to know. It's not like a sudden flood will hit you. It's like, but there'll be just a little bit more. And then you get to sell the additional units, spread it out a little bit more, get those outbursts a little bit more spread out over the course of the print run. And at the end of the day, you still get, as long as somebody pulls the one of one, as long as they get their outbursts they're supposed to get, and everybody gets what they're supposed to see and they see what they expect, and the sales totals are very strong, I don't think too many people are going to complain. They're not going to sit there and count the individual units out there. But I wouldn't be surprised if you see that's why I gave you the 2015 one. Just we've had it some years now. The market's had plenty of time to absorb it. But 12,000 between those three levels that I covered.
Yeah.
That's not short printed. And I think over the years we've steadily printed more. Mm-hmm. And now we're in this stage here and there's going to be more than that. So how much more? To be determined.
Absolutely.
To be determined.
To be determined. But yes. So at least now you know that you can pop into AMG. So Blair, did you want to add something?
Sorry, I just wanted to throw something out. I had a customer in the shop the other day. We were just chatting about Series 2, obviously, when he could come in and all that kind of stuff. And then he threw, and I had heard about this before, but just something maybe for the panel or not. But he was saying, and obviously didn't know who it was at the time, but he had seen it. But a company or somebody on eBay had put up, the Connor Bedard rookie card, Young Gun, and with a buy it now price of like $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they don't even have the card. I just thought that was fun. I was going to look into it, but just ran out of time last night. But just to see what else was out there like that. But I mean, I know what they're doing. They have product they're going to open, so they're running the numbers and say we will hit a Bedard in so many boxes. But I don't. Me personally, I don't agree with that because you don't have a card in hand, and I don't think they should do that.
I also believe it was released in the social media, and that apparently in the States at Walmart's they actually released the product a little early.
Really?
Yeah, so there was, just playing around there the last couple of days, there were some Bedard surfacing on eBay. Fact or fiction, I don't know, but I did hear that, and I believe it's true.
Mhm. Ooh, see, I like where this went. Blair, good job by you. Look, I just wanted somebody to go out on a limb with me for a minute. That's why I say, like, look, I'll take this. I think they bumped up the print run. I'm going with it. I'm going for it. But I would love to be, if that turned out to be the case, what you're talking about, if that turned out to be the case, I would love to be listening in on that phone call if somebody tried to call him and give Walmart flack for it, and Walmart is like, seriously? Click. They're like,
Exactly.
we're Walmart, sir. We don't need to sell hockey cards. It's like,
Yeah.
Goodbye, sir. Click.
Yeah.
They're not terribly concerned. They'll be okay. If they put it on the shelf a little bit early, well, you're just going to have to deal with it and accept it and move on with your day. But it is interesting. It's going to be fun to speculate a little bit. We can have a little bit of fun with it. We won't know. That's why I gave the example I gave. It's like, it might be imperceptible. Unless you're sitting there really counting and trying to pay attention. And kind of Blair's point, I could see some people doing pre-sale. Like, if you're going to have a couple of cases, you're going to get at least a couple. So it's one of those things where unless something really wacky happens, you should get a couple. So it's kind of a dangerous move, but at the same time, you kind of get a price lock in there. That'd be a pretty generous amount just to insure yourself. But it's not like the cases are cheap either, because even some of the pre-sale cases I saw were like almost $3,600 US for pre-sale. So it's even then, even at $1,500, you're only like taking the edge off the price of the case. So I hope you pull some other stuff, because that only takes the edge off a little bit.
There's going to be a lot of people sitting on this product too. So you just don't know.
And I think, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
And I think too, I mean, back to, pulling and what people do. I mean, there's going to be people that are going to put it up there right away and try to cash out. But then there's going to be a lot of people a lot of them aren't going to hit the market right away. I think they're going to, if it's close, they're going to roll the dice and grade them. And people are, especially to see what happened with the draft day card and the 10s going for so much money. So I think I think there will be a little bit of a fever for that raw Bedard card and people putting it out there, because I think they're not all going to go straight to market. So
I'd like to see the percentage of people that might be buying for the first time, or the first time in a while, because even just in the store, random people coming in that my memory's not great, but I know I've never seen them before, and asking questions about where and when and how much. So there might be a lot of one and dones with this product, but you can't blame them with the bounty, and it's worth a shot.
Well, that's where all the various caveats came in. That's where I kind of mentioned, like, this is how many Young Guns there are in the set. This is how many are in the checklist. It's like you have to kind of educate at that point, especially if they're not commonly in it. It's like, just so you know, you've got a chance, but just be aware that the odds are not in your favor to be you. And by the way, even if they were in your favor and you were able to pull that many, well, then it wouldn't hold the value that it does, right? So it's like it's a catch-22. It holds a little bit of value because it's a little bit tougher, not impossible. The thing about Young Guns is they are available. It is possible, but then once enough people open them, then again we're back to available. So kind of Blair's point, the initial folks that sell them, I think, are going to do very well, and then the next wave will be after the grading happens. But then once enough hits the market, then the raw version will come down. So it'll come down from its initial run, and then down the road, the only time it comes back up then is if Bedard continues to play well down the road, and people will start accumulating over time. Connor McDavid is a good example of this. The exact same thing happened in the same way. Early ones sold very well, and then eventually, with time, as he started accomplishing things, then it came up. Then the graded ones were the ones that sold well, and now today you can get good money for both, the raw copy and the graded copy. But it's because he's accomplished some things down the road. Same with Sidney Crosby, same with every other Young Gun that has come down the pipeline.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. So we'll leave it at that. Pop in AMG, check it out. And obviously this week will be a lot of fun. We'll get some reports next week to see how the craziness go in. If Steve is collector of the scallops, collector of the people, picking himself off the floor after, series 2 comes out. We'll have to see. We'll get some war stories, from everybody. I think that'll be very exciting.
There could be some battle scars.
Definitely need some patience again when the product comes in, especially this shipment where we do have a lot. We need to take the time and go through an inventory, all the parcels. If there's a parcel missing, that could be thousands of dollars the store's missing. So please be patient and we'll make them available when we're ready to
can.
make them available, because we have to be organized.
Sounds good. Some sage words to finish off on. So hopefully all of you who do decide to participate in this, hopefully you enjoy yourselves. Bear in mind some of the caveats we gave in. Best of luck. Good luck to you. Hopefully one of you pulls the one of one and collects the big bounty. And we wish you the best, and hopefully that'll be a lot of fun. I'll enjoy it from the perspective of watching. I'm going to watch some breaks. We're going to see how some of this stuff looks like. I'm looking forward to the reaction of folks as this product starts getting open and stuff starts coming out.
Blair said he's putting in his 2 weeks notice today because he's going to pull it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm done.
He's done. It's over. There you go. So
I am
on that
excited,
note,
though. It's exciting.
It is.
Absolutely. So on that note, we'll leave you all. So thank you to Sherry. Thank you to Blair, at least while he's still here, before he pulls his one of one and runs away. And thank you to Steve. We'll be back on a future episode again. Leave comments in the comment section if you'd like. If you have a pertinent question, reach out. Use some of the contacts there scrolling in the bottom. We'll include a couple of links for you in the description as well. If you could like the video, we'd appreciate the engagement. Also, subscribe to the channel, and we get the weekly podcast. So thank you very much for everybody here. We will catch you in the next one.